course, the survival guide. There is loads of madness. I hope I haven't bored you too much with it, and I hope you recognize some of it, because if you don't, you won't survive. I'm not telling you this just to bore you. I'm telling you this to try and help you. We can't stop the madness, but we can survive it. How do we do that? Don't take things on face value. Try and dig in and do the research. And not just on face value, but please don't take them on Facebook value. That ain't gonna work. There's lots of good quality research around. It's everywhere. That's why we do the seminars for you. Understand there's always a vested interest when someone tells you that. When Donald tweets, he's trying to provoke something to get a result. When Boris thumps, he's trying to move things in his direction. He just got it wrong. There's always a vested interest from advisors or whatever. We have a vested interest. You know, your success is what creates our success. So we have a very vested interest in making sure you're okay. But understand that and make sure you ask, what do you get out of it? Anyone who's ethical will have no questions in telling you. But make sure you understand what you're being told and why you're being told it, so you can understand if it's right or not. And you've got to weigh it up and say, well, is it sensible and is it probable? If it's an incredible claim, can it be achieved? Now, it's harder these days than ever to know that, because let me tell you, stuff that was improbable is actually now probable. There are things now that we can do that no one would have ever imagined were possible. And I see it in opportunity all the time in business and the share market. The problem that I have is it's often already outpriced. If you look at Beyond Meat as a classic case, it is going to be a fantastic company. But it's not worth $9 billion today. That's probably its value in about 3 years' time. But they're making you pay for that 3 years' growth now. So even if you jump on the bandwagon and it does super well, you'll go, well, how come I didn't make any money? They'll go, well, mate, you paid what it was worth 3 years ago today. The guy that sold it to you, he's laughing. But you've got to check that it's probable that you've got it right. Never be afraid to just pause, reflect. And I think one of the most underestimated things you can do, procrastinate. It's wonderful. I've always said in property, if you procrastinate when you're an owner, it's fabulous. But procrastinating if you don't own, that's usually bad. So sometimes it is best to pause, but make sure you know what's going on around you and don't get too heated up too quickly. And try and pick the trends. These kids are getting taller, and they're also getting more incompetent. I don't know how they're going to survive when we're all gone. But I do know they're not going to look after us. When we say, son, would you wheel me over there? He'll go, I'm busy. What? But he'll say, but if I do come over there, how much will I get? So you'll be able to bribe them, but the key there is you better be a successful investor, because for bribery you need cash. Just remember that. But these trends are going on all the time. Just try and be aware of them. And if you can, be sane in your own space. And that's getting harder. You know, every time I turn around, you know, it's now fashionable to be mentally ill. I'm wondering when I'm going to ask for my day off. It's coming, because I get it. But it's resilience. People forget we've had mental illness forever. Forever. It was called sadness and sorrow and melancholy and all sorts of names. But now we've given it creation. But you can be sane in your sadness. It's not that bad. But just remember, the sun comes up and you'll be okay. And always seek out quality and value. In money, in life, in everything, that's what it's about. You can't make money out of junk unless you're lucky or sneaky. I've never been that lucky, and I'm really bad at being sneaky. So I have to go for quality and value, and that's always going to put you in good stead. With shares, good companies, with good balance sheets, good profits. With property, good suburbs, with good floor plans, and more space rather than less. It's not hard to see it if you open your eyes. And just seek out some simple fundamentals. Just because someone tells you doesn't mean it's true. Just because the RBA is putting interest rates, I think they've got it wrong. It's not a strangeness to see a reduction in growth if there's a reason for it. They just don't want to connect the dots. They take the easy option. But what happens if they might be right and things do get worse? Then what do they do when they've already taken interest rates down to such a ridiculous level? They've shot their gun off at a shadow when maybe a danger is lurking around the corner. Makes no sense. But you've got to ask the questions, you've got to do that. And the great thing is we live in a world where that information is readily available. I pulled most of this together this afternoon because I knew I was talking. You can go on Google and go mad. Or just come here next year and we'll see how we went, and it could be fun. And make sure whatever you do, just have a good reason to do it. And a good reason is never to make money. A good reason is because you think it's good value. You think that you might need it. It could help your family. That's good reason. If money is the only motivation, you probably won't. So just have a good reason to do it. And I can report the final bit of good news for you. Australia is the sanest crazy person in this madhouse. And that's why 400,000 people seek insanity refuge in Australia every year. That's why you guys are here listening about Australia, because you know they're the sanest crazy people around. So it gives us a little bit of comfort to know that, a little bit of protection. And whether you're an investor, an expat, a future resident, or just like kangaroos, Australia's the place for you. And just on that note, I'll have to tell you one little story from my travels. We were in Vienna or in Salzburg, and now in Vienna and Salzburg, you know what? They're selling T-shirts to the Chinese because they're coming en masse. Do you know what the T-shirts say? No kangaroos here. Because the Chinese are rocking up and going, I'm in Austria, kangaroo, kangaroo. And I kid you not, this is how bad we've got. They didn't check, no research. They've come to Austria to see the kangaroos, and there isn't any. On that note, I wish you all good investing, a sane and happy year, and good luck.